Hey, it's Bruce from TPC. I'm here today with John Watson. You may know him as the founder of The Radavist, which if you're not familiar, The Radavist is a great website, lots of amazing bike stories, photos, so be sure to check it out. And he's brought us a very special project, these Radavist Edition Sklar Super Something bikes.
Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah, I messed it up already, but I got it this time. Now these are a very unique bike. Some people might be familiar with Sklar, others maybe not. Can you, John, tell me a little bit about who Sklar is?
Totally, yeah. Adam Sklar is a frame builder from Boulder, Colorado, who currently lives up in Bozeman, Montana, where he makes one-on-one custom bicycle frames. Road, gravel, fixie, mountain. He designs a bike specifically for you based on your body's measurements.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's like the dream for a lot of people, definitely me, but obviously it can get pretty expensive. The wait time can get a little long. So this Super Something came about. Can you tell me about that? Like what's changed here?
Totally, yeah. I mean, as a one-person operation, building bikes, spending a lot of time with each of your customers, like you said, wait times get long, they get expensive. And Adam realized that he was basically building the same bike for a lot of people all over the world. People were wanting a gravel bike with kind of a nice, like little bit plumper tire clearance to race cyclocross on, to ride gravel, some single track, go on bike tours. And so the Super Something is the bike that he gets the most requests for, but this time he decided to go to Taiwan and get a batch made. And that does a few things. That frees up his time for more of those one-on-one projects.
Nice.
And it also lowers the price point for a Sklar, which opens up to more people. Like, and accessibility is something Adam's really been concerned with because lots of people want a Sklar, but they couldn't afford like a $7,000 bike.
Yeah, and so these are priced a lot more reasonably. We've got 5 build options, starting with this one in front of us, I think is probably my favorite. It's the most affordable, it's the simplest, but also probably the most unique. Obviously it's a single speed, but there's also a little interesting thing happening back there. John, can you tell me what that is?
So I've been documenting bike culture for about 15 years. And if you follow the Radavist, you know that we love vintage mountain bikes. And I'm talking like not 90s, I'm talking like 70s and 80s. Back then in Marin County, people were taking like balloon tire beach cruisers and bombing them down this infamous hill called Repack. And when I say bombing them, because they used a coaster brake hub.
Yeah.
And that's what this bike is. So we pinged our friend at Moni Bikes in Silver City, New Mexico, to send us his 275 or AKA 650B coaster brake wheel set. And what Shell does is he disassembles the coaster brake hub, packs it with better grease at a higher viscosity so it's not going to completely fry on your first ascent, and then makes these coaster coolers which keep the hub nice and cool, and then puts a beefy like steel plate actuator arm so you're not going to bend it when you jam it in going down like a dirt road or something.
That is absolutely awesome.
And then our friends at Blue Lug sold us some Nito bull moose bars that kind of harken back to like the early 1980s, like Tom Ritchie bull mooses. So this 275 wheeled bike, we crammed a nice 2.25 millimeter rubber tire in it with some gum walls, again, throwing back to the old vintage mountain bikes. And yeah, just kind of like a fun way to like spice up your commute or like your around town riding.
Awesome. And then we have a few geared build options. We have one more flat bar option, and that's running a, what drivetrain?
Microshift Advantix.
Okay, cool. And that one is a little more expensive than this. And then as you move up, we have 3 drop bar options also. They all use SRAM drivetrains, I believe.
Correct.
Yeah, tell me about those.
Yep. So, you know, electronic shifting isn't going anywhere. I personally love it, but I also love, you know, just standard indexed cables. And I personally think that standard indexed cable drivetrains are still really great. So on the lower end of that price point tier, we did a SRAM Apex build, and that's got SRAM Apex, still disc brakes, and then on the higher end, we've got SRAM Force with Axis, which is electronic shifting, and then in between those two, we've got a SRAM Rival Axis build kit too.
Yeah, and so the two sort of low and mid tier ones, they've got i9 wheels, I believe.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, and at the top end, you got the full ENVE kit with the cockpit.
Everything carbon.
ENVE wheels, that's probably what I'll end up riding.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
We'll see.
I could see that.
Yeah. Also, I see here, we've got an interesting little frame pack here. Can you tell me a little bit about this?
Yeah, so this is a vernacular frame bag, custom designed to fit the Super Something. So it matches the curved top tube via this lace-up attachment system. Tom, the guy who makes vernacular, and Adam are really good friends, and so, I mean, it just felt like we had so many homies already involved in this project. Let's go ahead and get Tom to make some custom add-on frame bags. I love coyote tan. It's like one of my favorite colors for bike bags and accessories. So we did a coyote tan bag with on the non-drive side, there's a nice shallow pocket for like a cell phone or a map. And then on the drive side, we've got a deeper pocket for a jacket, tools. It'll even fit a camera. And it's got some lavender hits on it to really tie into the paint job, which that's a whole nother thing.
Oh yeah, tell me about the paint. We got two options here, right?
So again, hearkening back to the flashy paint jobs of like 90s, 80s mountain bikes, we wanted to do two options. The color is kind of inspired by like our deep burgundy brown soil on the Colorado Plateau, where I like to spend my entire springtime if I can. And then the graphic designer at the Radavist, Carrie Carmine, was like, well, let's do something fun. And so she proposed this beautiful splatter paint job. It's got little lavender and like orange brown dots all over it. So if you want a bike with some flashy retro appeal, that's the frame for you. If you want something a little bit more subdued, but a really nice color, then the solid was probably more up your alley.
Yeah, and speaking of frames, we have the 5 build options, but we also have frame sets available.
Correct.
So if you want to build your own custom Super Something, that's an option. And it should be said also they're steel frames.
Correct. Yep.
Yep.
Chromoly steel. Adam took his favorite tube set that he uses for all of his US made frames, made some slight modifications, and sent it out to Taiwan, and Taiwan drew these tube sets specifically for the Super Somethings.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have to say, I've always loved how Sklar has this curved top tube. I think that's his signature, right?
Yeah. So Adam started doing that because he was making cyclocross racing bikes, and if you look closely, the tube flattens when it gets to the middle. And that's because in a cyclocross race, if it's too muddy or too steep, you throw the bike up on your shoulder and you portage it up the hill. And having that flat tube makes it more comfortable. And even having that slight arch makes it more comfortable to portage.
Yeah, well, I might never do that, but
Yeah.
it looks pretty good to me. Definitely, this is a super unique bike, especially since this is going to be sort of a limited quantity release, right?
Yeah.
How many total do we have?
We have 50 of these bikes, and that's 25 splatter, 25 solid, ranging in build kit options. Pretty much something for everyone in there.
Yeah, and once they're sold, they're gone, right?
They're gone. Yeah, we won't be doing more.
That's really cool. I mean, you know, you buy one of these, there's not going to be another bike like it, probably near you.
Yeah, I mean, 50 bikes, if say one person per state buys one, like you could be the only person in your state with one.
Yeah, so if you're interested in one of these Radavist collaborations, Sklar Super Somethings, be sure to check them out at our website, www.tpc.bike. Also, be sure to check out the Radavist to learn some cool stuff. John, you'll be there to answer any questions, right?
I'll reply to every comment in the
Totally.
comments, you know it.
All right, well, thanks for visiting, John.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe, like, and we'll see you next time.